Alright guys, so this is a full 24 hours since my last video, and usually I don't let something soak in that long. The whole idea behind a damp towel is so I'm not totally saturating this hide in water or submerging it, because that's to help prevent the hair from slipping out. You let this thing sit in a bucket of water or something, the hair might be prone to slippage. So just a damp towel kind of helps prevent that a little bit. But you see what's going on? This thing is very cloth-like. There's still some spots here, kind of the rawhide look. I think I could maybe stretch that. If not, I'm just gonna, but most of this is taken. A couple spots where it was folded, it didn't absorb yet. It's all on the verge. See, this feels really nice. This feels just like you want it to. Stretching, it's all loosened up, it's basically ready to work in most spots. One spot I probably forgot is the tail. That looks like it got kind of wet. Now, certain mammals, you have to split the tail when you skin them to help prevent the tail from rotting off. Foxes is one of those, raccoons, and you split the tails on those guys. Alright, I'm going to start working this a little bit. You can't really stretch it a lot, but what I'm probably going to end up doing is, most of this I'm going to be like roughing over a piece of wood. You know, get like a board edge and working it just like that, rotating it. And I don't think it'll take very much. Around the face, it'll take a little bit extra roughing up. It's a little stiffer, but that worked really nice. A couple of these spots I might, you know, if I can't work out this rawhide, probably gonna put a little bit more egg and roll it up for a little bit longer. That's really nice. Alright guys, I don't know if this is picking up. This is kind of the hard way of doing it because I have to pinch it to my legs. You can put this in a vise, it'd work really good, but I'm just not feeling like it right now. And I'm just working this over the board edge. You can do this with a cable. A lot of people cable hides. You get a cable, you can ring this over like a cable to rough it up. The board works good. And this is the same principle as when I'm tanning, you know, deer skins. You want to work a hide till it's dry, then assess how soft it's getting. And then if you have to rebrain it, you rebrain it. A couple spots on here haven't taken all the solution yet, kind of the rawhide look. And they were kind of folded over on each other, and that's why, but most of this has gotten really soft and flexible, so. Just want to be careful you don't rip the hide. Some of this is actually membrane that I left on the hide. Kind of this darker is membrane, and that was kind of me being lazy and not wanting to tear it off and maybe go through the hide. I probably should have taken it off, but it's probably just going to make it a little bit more challenging to soften it, but we'll still get it. Most people always tell you to take your membrane off, and I recommend it too, but I could probably get away with it. I just didn't want to go too deep and start ripping the hide, because these are really thin skins. Alright, I'm going to work this for a while, see what happens. Alright guys, so basically what's happening, I've only been working this for maybe like 20 minutes. Areas on the hide that had absorbed all that mixture and were soft and pliable are now, as I'm working them, are drying very soft. And spots that hadn't absorbed the mixture, even as I'm working them, they're hardening. They're softer, but they're drying stiff, and that's exactly what I would expect to happen. You want every part in the hide to absorb your solution at some point, and then you work it till dry, and then it'll give you a soft hide. So basically, what I was anticipating all along was I'm probably going to rebrain this anyway. So some of these spots now that were tougher before are softening up a little bit, so they'll really absorb the brains the second time around, and then I'll work them to dry again. But this thing's already getting really soft. It's a lot better than what we started with, a stiff piece of rawhide, and now it's getting to be a nice little sock. Alright, so I like to work a hide in every direction and stretch it. You saw me most of this time I was kind of running it this way. I like to open up a hide in every direction, so now I'm going to kind of put it this way, and I could work it widthwise all the way up and down the length of it. Just a good way of stretching the fibers in every direction. Gotta be careful around my armpit where it's ripped. I probably could sew that, and I'll probably do that after I'm done here. Then I'll probably rebrain this and let it sit a little longer as time allows, and then I'll get back to this. But I don't think it's going to take much. Like I was saying, this thing's almost getting dry in spots, and it's pretty soft. And I've only been working this maybe a half an hour now. That's the other thing too. This thing wasn't sopping wet. I didn't submerge this in water or something, so it's going to take less time to dry. And it's warm out. But if it doesn't dry as soft as you'd like, you just rebrain the thing. And you should expect to rebrain pelts. It's pretty common. Because there's some spots here in the tail. I forgot to put my mixture, my eggs. Forgot to run it down inside my tail. So I'll hit that again. I'll hit these tough spots, and the next time around this should really soften really nice. What I do around the tail area is I flip it backwards and I curl it back like this, and then I just run it as I'm holding the hair back so I'm not pulling out hair, and run it back and forth on the top of the board. That just roughs it up a little bit, gets some of the extra moisture drying out, creates friction, and then sometimes you can go back and stretch that up, and if you look, it gets nice and soft and flexible. I didn't really get my eggs down inside this tail, but it's coming pretty soft. Most of this hide is functionally plenty soft for a quiver after this first braining, and it would work fine, but I'm just going to go ahead and rebrain it again anyway. Put it back in my towel, let it set for a couple hours, and then rework it, or just get back to it tomorrow when I have more time. But this is coming really nice. Alright guys, so basically I consider that my break-in phase. This whole hide has been brained once and worked till semi-dry. It's nice and soft and flexible. There were spots that I didn't really get good brain penetration yet, and they're softer now, but now with a second braining, or I guess it's 3 brainings at this point, it'll really soak in now because this is semi-soft already. And then the next time I go to work this, I'll work it nice and slow in a cooler spot where it'll dry a lot slower, and I could really work it nice and slow and stretch it really good, and this should soften up really nice the second time around. But most of this is really soft already. You could definitely make a quiver out of this at this point, but I like to make the whole thing as uniformly soft as possible. And I'll probably, sometime in the meantime, I'm going to sew this. I'll probably sew it up after I brain it again so it's nice and flexible. I'm going to sew that arm back on there, and this should be a really nice quiver. Then after this is all soft, I'll go ahead and smoke it. It's already in a tube, so it'll smoke really easy. And then it's ready to be fashioned into a quiver. Alright. Say hi. Alright guys, so I just took that hide, smeared it in eggs again, and rolled it right back up in my towel. And what I'm trying to show is there's a really expedient way to tan hides if you don't have a lot of time. I'm just trying to work on this a little bit every night, and you can get a soft hide in the end. So really what I'm doing is letting the eggs and the moist towel do the job of getting that egg to soak into the hide. Then I work it for a little while. I really only physically worked this hide maybe 15 minutes today. The other time I was just setting up the camera and just fooling around, and it's already gotten softer, just a little bit. I've worked it. So I'm probably just going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep egging it, letting it soak in, then working it for a while, and eventually this hide's going to get really soft and it's going to be ready. And I'll smoke it. I probably won't show me working much more of it. I'm going to sew it up, just keep working it. If it's not soft enough, I'll re-brain it and go from there. But I just wanted to show you that there's a quick way to tan hides if you don't have a lot of time, and now you can get a nice one in the end.